Welcome to our new lecture on general purpose, specific purpose, and central idea / thesis. This is Dr. T. We are going to go through each of these concepts, and I'm going to strongly recommend you work through the examples at the end of this presentation. Let's begin. As we know, our general purpose identifies our relationship with our audience, which means that you can only have one general purpose. So for this first presentation, it is to inform. And from our last lecture, we know the differences between informing, persuading, and also entertaining. Now that we've had a quick review of the general purpose, what is a specific purpose? A specific purpose is an objective. Well, what is an objective? An objective is a specific purpose. So as we go back through these two different things, realize that they are interchangeable. What it means is this is something that you want to accomplish or what you want your audience to be able to do by the end of your presentation. This is one sentence, one complete sentence, and it should have three different things. Those three different things in a specific purpose include the general purpose, which is either to inform or persuade in this class, so you only have one of those. Your audience, and your target audience is the class, or maybe if you're going to be presenting this at work or another place, you want to consider those individuals as your audience. And then the last is the thing that you've been working on so hard, and that's your narrowed down goal or theme, that topic. So that's it. That's really all you have to do for a specific purpose. I will inform the class about this thing. So that will describe a specific purpose as required for this class. Specific purposes can be fancy. So you can go ahead and just have the type of example that I had before. I will inform the class about the professional benefits of a speech class. So you can see that I have those three very important items that I mentioned in the previous slide. Or you can create what's called a behavioral objective, which means that you will describe what you want your audience to be able to do. By the end of the speech, the class will be able to describe the benefits of a speech class. That works too. So you can have a specific purpose with a behavioral objective. Works really well for workshops. But if you do go ahead and decide to go with the behavioral objective, make sure that you're using words that are measurable. So if you see the word describe, that means that that's measurable. I will be able to listen and hear, or maybe somebody can write down the benefits of a speech class. You can be quizzed on it. That is a more effective behavioral objective when you're using those strong words. But if you say no or understand, I can't really measure that. So if you decide to use this type of specific purpose, meaning a behavioral objective, be sure that you use strong statements, strong words within it. I'm looking at this example. The first example is exactly as the book has written a specific purpose. I took this example and created it in the other way that I showed you how to create an objective or a specific purpose. Either way is fine. Now that you've seen the different ways you can write a specific purpose, the next thing we'll cover is the thesis or the central idea. So as we begin to create a thesis or central idea, I want you to take the theme or your narrowed down topic and pull that out for now, and then let's move on to your thesis or central idea. So the thesis or central idea is a declarative statement that summarizes everything of your speech, your outline, or your report. It is one sentence. I do have one correction from your text, which if you listen to the audio podcast, then you know that I am not a fan of using pronouns in a thesis statement. So for that, this is the reason why I'm choosing this particular example from your book. As you can see, biomass is a renewable resource, etc., etc., etc. I have taken the theme and actually put it at the beginning of the sentence. which is what your book did as well. Actually, your book did that, and then I copied that into this slide. So you can see that you have a good idea of everything that's going to be in this speech or outline or report. That is one way to create a thesis or a central idea. Now, another way is to use what a lot of students have learned in English 1010 or in high school. So let's move on to the next slide. Another way to create a thesis or a central idea is by logical divisions. Logical divisions means that you are listing your main points within the thesis statement. So, for example, if you're talking about biomass is a renewable resource, you might explain why in very specific, clearly defined main points. So it would say something like biomass is a renewable resource because of this and this. And so you would have very two specific examples that you would actually dive into for your main points. So that's another way you can write your thesis statement, and it's fine. So for this first assignment, you are looking at two main points. So you want to make sure that you are limiting the number of main points that you're bringing in to your first presentation. Next are tips so that you can write wonderful specific purpose and central idea statements. The first thing I want you to do is be very flexible with yourself. The first thing you write is not likely going to be what you turn in. So you're not fully committed to what you write down the first time. The first time around, I want you to get something down and start working on it. And with that said, make sure that you remember as you start revising what defines a specific purpose statement. Remember those three things that you need: the general purpose, your target audience, and then your theme. And then what exactly defines a central idea, and it is that one sentence summary that encapsulates the whole speech. Remember to stay focused on one theme. Now this can be very hard for beginning writers and beginning speech writers. So one thing, that's all we're focused on. Do not use pronouns in your central idea. And I have to point this out because your book has one example with a pronoun, and that is something that as writers and in college you need to move past. And then my last tip for you is to eliminate that creative type language, which is called figurative language. Your metaphors, your similes, etc., etc. Those things do not help with the clarity with these two sentences, and you want to remove that. If you need examples of what figurative language looks like, be sure that you click on the link within the slide. Great job. You have made it through the lessons of specific purpose and central idea statements, along with a few tips to help you write great sentences. Now you have some practice sessions to go through in the next couple of slides. I highly recommend that you go through these sentences. Then you will be ready to not only take the quiz, but to write your own specific purpose and central idea for your projects.